anyone is opposed, because I can't see everyone on my screen, so if anyone is opposed to Wanda being the chair for the 2021 year, speak now or forever hold your peace. Once again, Wanda, will you be accepting of the chair position?
Yes, I accept the chair position.
Okay, welcome to being, you have now moved up from the vice to the chair, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Not traveling during the pandemic, so I can I can step up my volunteerism and chair. So thank you for the opportunity. Now, would we be looking at a vice chair?
Any volunteers or sorry, nominations for vice?
I'll nominate Michelle.
I'll second that.
Okay. Michelle, would you be accepting of the vice chair duties?
I would.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations from the board? Okay. And is anyone opposed? Are we all in favor of Michelle flipping to vice chair from her former chair position?
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, Wanda. It's all yours from here on out.
Great. Very good. Well, and congratulations, Michelle, and welcome everyone to our first meeting of this term. I do not have relationships with everyone here that's joined us, and I know that number one is ceremonial activities. Beyond our welcome, is there anything else that we would need to look at that? Jacob, I thought we could do a little bit of a round table and an introduction so we can get to know our new members.
Whatever you see fit.
Okay, what I'm hoping is maybe each member can introduce themselves, share a little bit, maybe 2 minutes about who you are, what business you're affiliated with, and your motivation for volunteering on this committee, so we can work together and channel that energy into some great results. So maybe we can start at the top of the screen. Chantal?
Oh, put me first, sure.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chantal Zorad. I've been on TDAV for 2 years now, so this will be my 3rd year coming in. Although the past year has been somewhat quiet with, not quiet, but we've been restricted in what we've been able to do. So looking forward to going forward and getting some things done on our agenda. I am the Special Events Manager at the Norfolk County Fair, which is currently on pause. And I also work with my husband and his company. I work on communications with him. So welcome to all the new people, and we look forward to getting to know you.
Very good. I see Jerry. Jerry, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. I am recently retired, well, 1 year retired from Toyota, 30 years plus at Toyota in both Cambridge and Woodstock. Not involved in a business down here in the Norfolk area, but I am new to Norfolk from Brantford, and I'm excited to get to know Norfolk and get to help out a community that I'm absolutely loving. And yeah, thank you for having me on board.
Welcome aboard. Moving to the top, we have our Vice Chair, Michelle.
Hi, I have to mute myself because I have kids in the background. So if you can't hear me, just let me know. I am Michelle Clofer. I know some of you I don't know. I own Cranberry Creek Gardens in Lyndoch, and I work with my family business as well, Titan Trailers, in Cortland. And I've been chair for a couple of years now and been on TDAP for quite a while, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to be able to do in the upcoming year. We have a lot, I think, on our plate with being part of the Economic Recovery Task Force, and lots of opportunity here to kind of get more active of a role instead of just kind of a backseat advisory board. So I'm super excited to work with all you guys.
And thank you for your leadership, Michelle. It's been great working with you as past chair. And is it Helen? You're on mute. Oh.
Helen works. It's technically
Hélène?
it's French, but I'll answer to most things at this point.
No.
So I'm a relatively new transplant to Norfolk County. Recently transplanted from Toronto, where we discovered Norfolk and Port Dover as kind of what we thought was going to be a weekend escape. We'd never heard of it before and discovered that it was this marvelous little place that promptly convinced us to drop everything in Toronto and move out here and really invest quite heavily, because we're now the owners of 2 future hotels in Port Dover. One's a little closer to completion than the other. So we have a project currently under construction on St. George Street, which will be a smaller 4-room inn. And we are also the proud new owners of what used to be called Angelo's at the corner of Main and Chapman in Port Dover. So obviously business and tourism and economic development is very, very important to us. And we wouldn't have moved here if we didn't think there was an immense amount of potential in this entire area. And so the reason I joined TDAB was to make that happen.
Well, and welcome to a community offering amazing quality of life, right? From Toronto.
Absolutely.
Yes. Great. I'm just going down the screen. We have one of our partners here, one of our stakeholders, Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura Gibson. I'm the Senior Business Advisor with the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. I'm happy to help on this committee. I've been involved in the Norfolk community in this role for about 5 years now, but I'm deeply familiar with Norfolk. My husband lives was from Norfolk, so yeah. So always happy to be involved, and it's great to see some new faces on the committee.
Fantastic. Sarah.
Hi. So both my husband and I have been born and raised in Norfolk. We have 2 insurance businesses, VLG in Delhi, and then we have O'Grady's in Tillsonburg. So we own both of those. I teach half-time, so I'm a learning resource teacher half of the time. And I just thought this committee would be great because I just see so much potential in Norfolk, and would love to be a part of helping it make it even better, I guess.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Michael.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Where to start? I am currently a member and a court officer for Norfolk County OPP. I've been there for the past 11 years. Always taken an interest in tourism, specifically, marketing and such, for what I took in school initially. So I think it was about time to try to bring back those skills into the county. I've always been passionate about the county and interested in tourism. Lived here my entire life, minus school, where I went to school in Humber for a few years and returned back to Norfolk County. So I've got to work with a few people here, Michelle, Chantel, been involved in Norfolk County Fair for almost my entire life. Since, I was almost Boar and I was passionate about that place, but worked on numerous other events in Special Olympics and a few event planning events. So yeah, that's what brings me here.
Welcome aboard, Michael.
Thank you.
Alexis.
Hi, I'm Alexis Fernandez Oliveira. I've lived in Norfolk County my whole life. Right now, I'm interested in volunteering within Norfolk and the municipality because online schooling has given me the opportunity to study from home. I study political science, and so that's kind of where my interest in the municipality and my focus is in public policy. So that's where my interest comes into volunteering with this committee.
Perhaps a deputation to council might be in your future. Oh. Welcome. Do we have Antoinette Wells here?
Yes, you do.
Hi, Antoinette. Welcome.
I like many other people today, I'm a new transplant to Simcoe from Burlington. And I really welcome the opportunity to be on this committee as a means to learn more about the community that I've just moved into, and hope to contribute to its economic development. My background is I have my own consulting firm. I'm semi-retired at this point, have my own consulting firm. I have a background in economic development in all three levels of government. And it's relevant perhaps to you that I chaired Tourism Burlington for several years.
Fantastic. And we have Nick Kinkle, also one of our stakeholders at the table. Nick?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I thought I was doing a good thing. I made the kids a little something to play with, but apparently it's getting them quite excited. So you might hear them screaming in the background and the dog barking. Anyway, yeah, good evening everyone. Good to meet the familiar faces and the new faces. I work for the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. And I am an agriculture and rural economic development advisor. So I sit here in an advisory capacity. My region that I tend to look after is Norfolk, Haldimand, Brantford, New Credit, Six Nations. And that shifts from time to time. And so, hopefully I can contribute in the way of resources as things are needed.
That's great. I know we have regrets from Christine Carey, and she represents Venture Norfolk. Then again, one of our stakeholders that normally attend this meeting. Besides myself, I know we have municipal managers here with us. Did I miss anybody as a volunteer? Yes, Helene?
I just completely forgot to mention my past life pre-hotel ownership, which may be relevant to the committee. I worked for 20 years in advertising, marketing, and public relations. I was actually the creative director for several major agencies in Toronto. So that can hopefully be experience that can be used by the committee as well.
Absolutely. We actually have a communication initiative on the agenda tonight. So that's one of the areas we're hoping to utilize our expertise of the team. So,
Wanda, don't forget to introduce who you are and what you do.
I was going to go there next.
I just all your exciting stuff on Facebook, so you've got lots on the go.
Oh, I do. I wear a couple of hats. Actually, I am hosting the meeting here from my Hamilton office. By day, I manage a labor relations organization and unionized construction. I represent a collective agreement for HVAC employers in 6 municipalities, including Norfolk County. So the construction world has been considered essential beyond our valued healthcare professionals and our grocery providers. Other than that, my husband and I, we live in Wilsonville, which is, if you don't know where that is, that's a small hamlet just outside of Waterford. We purchased a farm and it was always a dream for my husband to develop a botanical garden. So we transformed our farm into a 22-acre botanical garden. And so it has been a safe haven during the pandemic, although we certainly are watching all the restrictions for all the group tours and the impacts of what the pandemic has offered. So I'm also vice president of the Simcoe District Chamber of Commerce, so I'm a connection and liaison to that committee. So for me, I'm mandated to support economic development with my portfolio in construction. As a business owner in Norfolk County, and a majority of our business comes from outside of the municipality, even from the US and across Canada. So we are here to partner with every business that we can to be an economic driver, because we believe we are living in the best place possible, but we do have some challenges. So, yeah. So we have staff on the line. Is everyone? Zvi, Chris, I don't know if you'd like to introduce yourselves, and then we'll move on with the agenda. And Jacob?
Chris, you want to start?
I'm Chris Garwood, and I work with Zvi in the Economic Development Department, a department now of 2, and so we share the workload. Thanks.
Our leader. Zvi?
Hey, can everyone see me? There we go. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Zvi Lifshiz. I am also new to Norfolk County. Moved here in September, and as Chris said, Department of 2 now. So we are involved in a lot of things, trying to get a lot of really cool initiatives underway. And so I'm the guy that'll probably be bugging you to participate, or for quotes, or to join this or that. So I'll be talking about a couple of initiatives today. Yeah, I came here from the city of Barrie, where also in economic development, I had some really fantastic success there. Moved to Norfolk County. I really like this community, and I'd love to bring some of that here. So I'm very excited to see this group. It's a larger group than we had before. Some fantastic skills here. So very excited for this group. Thank you.
And last but not least, Jacob, please come out of hiding. You are the glue behind our team. You keep
So I
get the synergy
just
going.
got home with the hoodie on, so I apologize because I was helping out at work for the Board of Health. But I'm Jacob Robinson. I'm a committee coordinator with Norfolk County, and I basically just clerk the meetings. So I kind of keep myself in the background and just mostly record what's going on and possibly provide some insight every now and then with regards to procedural things. And when in doubt, I sort of just make it up as I go along. So that's pretty much all I'm good for. So, but I appreciate all of you applying and look forward to working with you going forward.
Right on. Well, welcome team. And if we can, unless we have any other questions, can we move on to the number 2 on the agenda? Helene, you still have your hand up? No, you're good. Okay. Okay, moving to number 2, approval of the agenda and changes to the agenda. Do we have any additions to the agenda? Seeing none.
Sorry, Wanda, I actually do. It's V. We can fit it in under other business, but
Yes.
really quick addition to talk about the new branding strategy going to council. I don't think that's on the agenda. I could be wrong, but it's a pretty quick discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Addition made. All right. Seeing that there's no other agenda additions, we should move, I guess, to an approval of the agenda. Jacob, we always look for that. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And all we're looking for is one person to approve the agenda, Chantel. And we don't need a seconder. So all in favor? Carried. Very good. Moving on to number 3, disclosure of pecuniary interest, or it's conflict of interest. So we're all here as investors and supporters. Do we have any conflict of interest? Speak now. No conflict noted. Thank you very much. Number 4, presentations. Do we have any presentations scheduled for tonight? Jacob?
None on my list, unless anybody has anything they would like to add, but I assume that would have came up for our additions to the agenda, so we can likely move on to communications.
Very good. Okay. Well, we'll probably need to move to number 5, which is approval of the meeting minutes. So we will need someone who was here at the last board meeting. This is the Tourism ECDEV Advisory Board minutes from December the 21st. Can we have someone move to accept those? Michelle? Very good. Laura has a question.
No, I was just seconding it.
Okay, very good. So thank you, Laura. And are we all in favor to move that forward so we can approve the minutes? Thank you, everyone. Carried. Okay, now the bulk of the meeting, number 6, communications. And we have A, which is the chair election. We have moved on with that. Thank you, everyone, for your confidence in the opportunity. Just one note, I've sat at this table for 10 years and it has been a great opportunity to meet so many fabulous people. I feel that we are in a really good position to make a difference, knowing that although we have the pandemic, we have some good initiatives and some great talent here. So I look forward to working with everyone. That moves us to B, which is press release. And I don't see Cindy here tonight. And Christine is not here. For the press release, and maybe I might ask Jacob to also join me in this, Cindy Vanderstar, through our past meeting, identified what she felt was a need for us to have a communication piece where we start to share some other messages regarding Norfolk County. We know there's been some violent press. CBC is always looking for a good headline. We feel that not only as business owners, but also individuals who are very active in other aspects of development in the community, that we wanted to change the channel and start a new conversation and lend our voice to what we felt could be building a communications team through Tourism ECDEV Advisory Board. This might even complement the upcoming new branding strategy. So there was a document that was circulated and to the members and asking them to provide a supportive quote. Nick, thank you. I realize you participated in that. Do you have any comments you'd like to add on the communication piece? And
sorry, I missed that, Wanda. What was that?
On the press release, the communication piece, I know we have you participating in the communication piece. What value do you feel that communication piece could offer?
Yeah, no, I think it, hopefully it gives recognition to, who's on this team and the value that they bring to the team, and just, again, some of that resource piece, that that background piece. Is that what you're looking for, Wanda?
Okay, well, it is. We wanted to recognize the team, and Jacob, I don't know, is that a document that has been circulated to our new committee members?
I don't believe so. So last time we met, one of the things that we wanted to do was to just get some communication from everyone. We've only gotten a couple in, and then it's basically, I know, been circulated through the 3 ladies that were going to put it together. But certainly I would be more than happy to send our newcomers a bit of an example as to what we're looking for, and they would be certainly more than welcome to get in on the action as well and putting the document together.
Okay, well, I know Christine, Christine had provided a quote, I had provided a quote, so did Nick, and it was Cindy Vanderstar who had started the initiative. She provided a quote. We felt that anyone on this committee who is comfortable publicly speaking, offering supportive words regarding Norfolk County, the economic development initiatives that we'd like to bring forward, that perhaps you could be called upon in a public venue. We just know there's more people who want to have this conversation. We have Zvi with his hand up. So Zvi.
Thanks, Wanda. So just, I don't know if this is the right time to start introducing comments, but I did have a general thought on the letter.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, you've got the negative social media out there. As director of the department, I also want a lot of the positive things that have started happening, whether it's the Economic Recovery Task Force, the various projects, the new brand. There's just a slew of projects that are underway now. I want that to be the topic of discussion. So I wonder if it might be worthwhile through that letter to also introduce some of those examples and say, you know, these are the good things that we want the community to know about, and maybe change that narrative rather than you know, just saying, you know, there's negative, how do we change it? But actually throw some things in there that, you know, the press will pick up on this quite likely. And so I think it's an opportunity.
Excellent. And you know what, it has this was an initiative started in December, and the fact that there's been quite a bit of development since that time. Zvi, do you mind having a peek at the existing copy, maybe adding your comments to it regarding the narrative that we would like to see moving forward, adding some of those points? And then Jacob, can you circulate that to the committee? And what we'd be looking for is your comments regarding what we're trying to achieve here, not only as a committee, but maybe some of the optimism you bring with yourself as a new business, as a new citizen to our community. You each represent a very unique message and narrative.
Absolutely. If Zvi wants to send over to myself, I can get that over to everybody. And I just sent one of the emails, Wanda, that we had circulated, and there is an example in there, and it's a background, I think, from Christine on what we're looking to do. So I did just circulate that so everybody can kind of have a look and just see exactly what we're looking for and more what the project is all about.
Fantastic. And I'm wondering, I know that we are governed by various protocol. How does everyone feel about if there are group emails that are used to circulate this? So should anyone have a question, they can ask the group and we can have some exchange outside of the monthly forum. It is a way for us to accelerate relationship building. Michelle?
I think what we did last year was Jacob just circulated an email that said like that where everyone releases, like allows the release of their email like to everyone else. And just might be good to do it in email just in case anyone isn't comfortable with it, and then they can opt out. But that's what we did last year, and it was pretty quick and painless. And then an email list was just sent to everybody, which I think was really helpful. It was nice to just not be blind copied on everything and be able to kind of maybe not start a big discussion, but like have asides and things like that based on people's feedback.
Any other comments here from our new committee members? Do you feel comfortable with that type of forum? We promise, I have not noticed it is an abundance of emails, but it does allow us to share, clarify, and exchange information.
May I ask a question?
Sure, absolutely, Jerry.
Why aren't we using Teams? We use Microsoft Teams for this video chat. Apparently, inside Teams, there's a great work group available to be able to pass back and forth and comment on all of our all of the information that's going to be taking place. Just an idea.
So Jacob, as our facilitator of our meetings, how do you feel about that?
Really, it's up to the board. My, I guess, worry would be not everybody may have Teams and the chats on their phone or readily available, which might make email a little bit easier, but I'll leave that up to the group. It really doesn't bother me one way or the other as long as everybody's getting the information they require. That's the biggest thing, right?
So if you can note that in the minutes, that's something that we can at least look at possibly utilizing as we move forward. And also, it looks like we also have support that we can share our contact information. And so this way, if anyone would like to reach out, that is actually a piece of information that's always been shared at the beginning of every term. And then we have the communication piece that if it doesn't offer enough information before you feel you can comment, I think a group discussion that would allow us to at least exchange information. So if you can share that document as well, Jacob, does that work for you?
Yes, I'm not 100% sure I was here in time to share the document last year, but I'm certain that I can find it in our system and can circulate it this week.
Sure. If not, reach out to me. I do have a copy.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't start until well into the pandemic last year, but I like I say, I'm sure it won't be an issue coming up with.
Okay, but maybe you can send that to Zvi first for Zvi to add some priority points. Now that although we started the conversation identifying negative press, that's what motivated us to move forward with developing this communication. We'll call it a press release, or at least this resource. But as V said, we're in a new space now, and I think we want to change the channel and we want to utilize the team. So if you can send that to Zvi first so he can add his comments.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sorry, I got them both mixed up. Yes, I can. And I will also go ahead and look towards the email, the sign off on email so that we can all communicate with each other that way if that's the way everybody feels acceptable.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you. Any other questions on this communication piece? We have Michelle.
I just sent out a test Teams group in case anyone wants to try it out. I'm pretty sure you can set up notifications to come to your email inbox. So if you just want to kind of join it and test it out whenever you want, you're more than welcome to. We can always do a formalized one through the county, but just in case you want to chat, I just sent one through the message board.
Excellent. Helena?
I just wanted to ask, in terms of all of this, because I'm obviously coming in kind of completely brand new, was there anything in terms of documenting what the issue is we're trying to address is? Because I mean, obviously, just kind of reading through what I've seen to date, social media, some negative press or whatever, I'm just curious if there's a clear, defined anything that, rather than just using my own sort of interpretation and perception of that, like what is exactly the problem that the group identified that this whole undertaking is exactly trying to address?
What I can share, and I encourage others who have been at this table, I think it was based on, there were several observations. We knew that there was a challenge with an in-camera session item that made it publicly to the paper from council, and it created some bad press just regarding maybe some challenges that were occurring regarding the synergy with council and getting decisions being made. So I know that that's where the conversation started with Cindy, although I'm not here to speak on her behalf. And then we moved forward acknowledging some of the economic development challenges that were the narrative with several CBC articles. Michelle, you've got your hand up. And you're on mute.
Sorry, you finished? I thought this was just for like post you. I had like a little summary note of what we all agreed on kind of thing.
Yep, if you've pulled it up.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, I don't have it written down, but basically what my understanding of what we all agreed to was the county has bad press and they're not dealing with it. So this was to hopefully encourage them to address it.
One of many layers.
Yes. Like I think in the end, that's kind of the discussion. That's what everyone agreed to. There might have been different reasoning behind it, but that was kind of the point we came to in the end that everyone kind of agreed on was there's bad press. We want to do something to encourage the county to address it because it didn't seem like it was being addressed.
Internal and external, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Communications. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I was just hoping that maybe we had a little bit more specificity within that concept of bad press. Like, are we talking specifically in relation to? Pardon me?
If I don't have the document in front of me, there is actually an outline. There was a little bit of a summary at the beginning of the document. Okay. But I think, you know what, Helena, I think with Zvi, the feedback he provided to us, I think we're going to examine that summary and we're going to expand on it although we want to change the narrative, we do feel there's some new things we can focus on regarding any kind of new communication and messaging that we can support or even members of this committee can bring forward.
Absolutely. I think it's, I just think it might be valuable for us to have clear kind of identification of the very specific sort of issues that are, that bad press, so that we can understand what areas within the county those are focused on, whether it is just sort of the current interactions with council, some of the fallout from COVID and things that have happened through that, like what are the issues, so that we can make sure that all of our communications actually kind of focus on those things and pivot away from them in the right ways.
Okay, so Zvi, maybe yourself and Zvi, I see you have your hand up, so I think we need to really incorporate those ideas and those objectives into the piece before we circulate. Zvi, can you share more?
So I'll take your lead, Wanda. I was going to suggest if the committee would like to see the original, we can certainly recirculate the original, and then I can add a few things. And I'm not looking to entirely replace the concept, because I do think it is worthwhile for council to know that there is negative press out there and there is concern amongst the leaders in our community. But also just to kind of sprinkle some of the good things that can replace that as examples. So if you're amenable to it, I can just resend the original to everybody, and then I'll follow up with an edited version that you and I can go through, or as a group, whatever you think is best.
Yeah, I would love I think you should circulate the original just as a backgrounder. We have new people coming in who are not familiar with the piece. And then Zvi, if you can share with me any additions you'd like to make, and then we can send that out to the committee. I'd like to make sure that this committee is supporting all the initiatives that yourself and Chris are investing time and energy in.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. So I hope that's helpful. We'll get you the information. Good conversation, everyone. Any other questions on that? Okay, moving on to C, RED support funding. Zvi?
Yes, thank you. So just a very quick update. We have applied for a RED grant, which is a Rural Economic Development Grant that is for a project that's actually part of our economic recovery plan. What the funding will allow us to do is to build a one-year pilot entrepreneurship center in Norfolk County. We've identified a number of different streams within that. So we're looking at 3 cohort-based entrepreneurship programs, so 10-week cohorts with about 10 startups or companies or small businesses within each cohort. One that is a general kind of business accelerator, one that is focused on e-commerce and those that already have some kind of online presence but would like to scale that. And the third one that is called farm to retail. So this is for those that have some kind of food-based product in the agriculture industry, and they would like to go either have a concept or an actual product, and they would like to go beyond, let's say, just farmers markets, and they would like to actually get onto store shelves and utilize the fact that the large companies like Loblaws are already looking for local products. So that will be another accelerator program. Beyond that, we have mentorship in there. We have workshops on, how to raise capital, how to build a lean canvas to get a business off the ground. We've brought on a bunch of partners from Innovation Factory in Hamilton we're talking to Fanshawe, the Brantford Resource Center. So it's a pretty cool project. Hopefully we get the funding. We do have some funding of our own within the economic recovery plan, but this will effectively double that funding. And so we'll be able to go way bigger. Still not huge. It's still really, really small compared to what other communities are doing in the space, but it is a one-year pilot that will allow us to track metrics and see what kind of outcomes we can gain. So just a quick update, we're expecting results in May, and if that happens, we're looking to start to really launch in around August, the first event, the big kickoff event. So yeah, just a quick update. I think that's really exciting, and there was a lot of support, lots of letters of support, and lots of excitement about it.
Zvi, maybe we can at least think about and have everyone from this committee think about how we can help to engage that if you're successful with your grant. Do you have anything on your wish list as to how this committee could support that initiative if you're successful?
Yeah, absolutely. Be careful what you ask for, because I have lots of ideas. Yeah, absolutely. So there are a ton of things that if we're successful, there are a ton of things that need to be done. Everything from how do we actually start engaging the businesses? I mean, is it an ad in the newspaper? Is it an event that we bring in a speaker and we start motivating people to surface those entrepreneurs? We'll have to have those discussions. Are there certain sessions that some of the TDAB members can actually lead or come speak at? There are a lot of things that I think it's a one-year project. So there will be a lot of opportunities for TDAB to engage in that, as well as, some other things that I'm going to talk about today. So yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, I think that we have exceptional talent here that would love an opportunity to support that. So May, right, is when you will hear?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay, yeah, that's very exciting news. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone have any questions for Zvi? No? Okay, moving on. Just enough of a break for you to catch your breath, Zvi. We're moving on to D, which is Economic Recovery Plan Subcommittees.
Great. So this one, so for the benefit of the new members, we have an economic recovery task force. Michelle is actually on that task force as well. And this task force put together an economic recovery plan that was taken to council in December, approved by council and funded by council. So we have $250,000 to do about $500,000 worth of stuff. And so we committed to council that we would apply for grants, which is why we're applying for the RED and there's some other grants. So $500,000 worth of really cool, innovative, catalytic type projects. The plan itself is divided into 4 separate sections that we've called Buy Norfolk, Build Norfolk, Innovate Norfolk, and Recover Norfolk. There are 2 of those that we're moving forward with right away. So Buy Norfolk is all about helping small businesses grow and scale, not just during COVID, but actually coming out of COVID. And the good news is today we've signed 2 separate agreements, one for a digital marketplace, which will basically be a local version of Amazon for Norfolk County that will allow retailers to sell online within a single platform with a single shopping cart. So you can go on and buy from vendor A, B, C, and D and pay once in a single shopping cart and get a single delivery. And we're also looking to make that delivery, at least for, I would say, hopefully if we can afford it the first year, would like to make that free. And the point of making it free is to remove any friction from those buying online. So it's very easy to buy on Amazon. You press a button. If you're a Prime member, it costs you absolutely nothing. You get a package the next day. You can click that button multiple times per day and it doesn't matter because delivery costs you nothing. That's called friction when it comes to small businesses. So we want to remove that friction by making local delivery free as well. So we've signed that contract today. And the other one is an app for tourism that will help us cross promote what's here. It's got mapping features and instead of having a printed guide that changes once per year, we're now going to have an app that can change all the time. We can have specials on it and coupons, and it really is about increasing visitation and increasing spend in the community, because we found that lots of people came to the community and didn't really spend. They would just utilize the free assets that we have, like beaches, and really not spend much in the community. And that the hope of this app is that we can highlight what else there is here and what else is around people. So those are 2 projects. By Norfolk kind of encompasses those types of projects. What I need for Buy and for Recover Norfolk, which I'll touch on in a second, is we agreed last year with the previous members that members of TDAB would be involved in those subcommittees along with some other community stakeholders. So Recover Norfolk is 4 grant programs. One is for arts and culture, one is for downtowns, one is for the agriculture industry, and one is for tourism and actually increasing accommodations and getting more accommodation built in Norfolk. And so those are the 4 programs that were developed. What wasn't developed was the framework. What are we looking for in terms of applications? What are the criteria? How will we evaluate? How much money will go into each grant program? So we're looking for a separate subcommittee that will do nothing other than create that framework for Recover Norfolk. And Nick, actually, thank you, Nick. Nick's already agreed to participate in that because he has experience with the RED program and other grant programs. So that's very helpful. We've also reached out to Dusty Zamenek, hopefully I'm saying that, Zemeknik from the Ag Advisory Board to be on that, and also somebody from Libro Credit Union that has a lot of experience with grant programs. But we would like to get some more some participation from members of TDAB. So there's that one, and the Buy Norfolk, which is the small business subcommittee. And that's really about how do we engage the businesses? How do we onboard them? Just decisions about how we grow this platform or these platforms. So those are the 2 subcommittees that we're looking to bring people on right away. And it can either be all of TDAB split between the 2. It can be, folks that want to participate and others don't. I will leave it up to this group to decide which of those 2 you'd like to participate in and who would like to participate.
Now, the document, has everyone here, all our new committee members, have you seen the document that Zvi is referring to?
Not the new ones. Not the new ones.
No?
No, that's a good point. So I can send that out. The economic recovery plan, I'll send that out to everybody.
Okay.
But still, I think it's, I really want to move forward with these committees. So if possible, it'd be great if we could have a discussion. There's a lot of the details in the plan about the projects, but really the committees, the 2 subcommittees are one that will define what grant programs look like, and one that will define how we grow a platform for small business and digital enablement and delivery, and what will logistics look like, and all of that, good stuff.
Now, I think, was that Michelle? Did you indicate you had an interest in Buy Norfolk?
Yeah, I'd like to help with the Buy Norfolk. If I'd be happy to volunteer to help with that. I think the grant part, depending on how the grants result in, I might end up having a conflict because I'd probably apply for some of those grants. So I'd probably wouldn't want to be involved in the grant part, but I'd love to help with the Buy Norfolk.
Fantastic. Helena?
I'm pretty much in the exact same boat as Michelle, and developing digital platforms and apps and websites and stuff like that is what I did for years and years and years. So more than happy to be participating on that side of things.
Zvi, you're taking names, right?
Sure am.
Jacob, okay. Chantel?
I'd like to put myself forward for
Zvi.
Buy Norfolk as well. Happy to help out.
Fantastic.
Great.
Michael, MB.
I'd be interested in something like Buy Norfolk. I've actually, way before this started, I always thought it would be. I'm surprised it's not in the forefront already. So 100% I'm in with that.
Great.
Fantastic. Jerry.
Well,
I could be in either one. I just want to get out there and get involved. So wherever you need me, I can, or even both.
thank you, Jerry. And I think we have a clear preference so far for Buy. So if you're okay with it, I'm going to put you in Recover.
I hope I haven't missed anyone. Sarah?
I can join the Recover Norfolk if you need.
Well, Zvi, we have just built, we have an amazing team here. My goodness. And who else? Chris?
What I wanted to do, Wanda, was to kind of explain the conflict of interest part of it, because we did have an internal discussion where that was concerned. And to design the programs, to build them, is totally different from adjudication. So when we build out saying, okay, we have this grant program, then these are the eligibility, this is what is required, so on and so forth. When it comes to applying, it won't be the same people that are reviewing the application. So I don't think that we should worry too much about the conflict part of it. Can you kind of flesh that out a bit more, Zvi, because we had a quick chat about it.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the actual decision making will likely be done by the Economic Recovery Task Force. So the task force will take the framework that gets developed by the subcommittee, and they will process it. And we haven't decided yet, does every grant application go to council? Do we just update them? So that those decisions haven't been made, but I mean, there's always a conflict, right? So if you're sitting on a committee where you're defining the criteria for something that you may apply for, I mean, but I also think that everyone in here is a professional and has the community's interests in mind. So if somebody really does want to sit on Recover, I don't think it's a huge problem. I really don't. But I mean, we have some good participation. Just so you know, on the Buy Norfolk, we've also got several members of chambers and BIAs participating. Obviously, their members are key to this. So we'll have each of these task force will include TDEB members and then experts / stakeholders. So yeah, I think we're okay. We could probably use one more in under Recover, but I'm sure that you know, I'll find one. It's fine. I think this is great. Really great take up. So I'm happy.
Fantastic. Michael, you still have your hand out. Did you have anything you'd like to share?
No, sorry, I just didn't lower it.
Oh, okay.
I'm new to Teams, so I apologize.
Zvi, for the grant part, Zvi, you might want to like, I'm pretty sure Claire might volunteer for that if you needed any help with it. She's like what I would say for arts grants, she would be, I would call her probably the community expert on that kind of stuff. So she's on the, as you know, the Economic Recovery Task Force, but her and I talked many times about that kind of thing. And I know that you're kind of seeing that a little bit as a stepping stone towards creating an arts committee in Norfolk County. And I think, again, she would be someone who would be a driving force behind that as well. So.
Yeah, thank you for that. And coming to a NSERT meeting near you next week. So yeah, we'll definitely chat about that.
Right on. Well, thank you everyone in advance for your generosity of time and expertise. I'm thrilled. This is so exciting. And you're right, Zvi. I mean, the communication piece, look at all the new initiatives that you know, the channel has changed from our December conversations. So I'm excited to see how our committee can support all the great work. So it looks like we are on item E, which is future meeting times. Scheduling, the challenge, the biggest challenge we all have is scheduling. So how would we like to approach that? Jacob, I know that you've had some conversations with Michelle and I and Zvi, and should we look at a doodle again, or?
Well, Zvi and I actually had a chat about this with regards to our AAB, Ag Advisory Board. We should probably try and set a specific time for each month. And then if, you know, that runs into something and a number of people can't be there, then we can certainly change it. For those that weren't here last time, I believe it was the fourth Monday of the month at 5 o'clock, 4th, Michelle. So I'm not sure exactly how we want to kind of go with this, because I wasn't here last year to do it, but I guess maybe just narrowing down it if there's any possible time that people can't. You know, during the day, I'm not sure. I know for AAB, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. So I guess just kind of trying to get the temperature of everyone and then go from there.
As a little bit of a backgrounder, Michelle, you have your hand up.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say the only thing we could propose is, if this time works for absolutely everyone, if we switched the week in the month, it would also work for Christine. That's just her feedback. So if this time and date, like Wednesdays at this time, worked for everybody, it might just be easier than even having a poll.
Would that work for everyone? So we would be looking at a week prior on the Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I'm seeing a thumbs up. Jerry, does that work for you? Excellent. Works. Okay, I think we have consensus on that. Oh, thanks for the emoji, Michelle. Right on. So would we like to move a motion on that, because we are an official committee of council? Do I have a mover on that motion? Was that Jerry putting his hand up? Okay, Jerry's moved the motion. All in favor that our committee meetings are now moved to, I think that would be the third Wednesday of the month at 5 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Great. Jacob, is there anything else you might need on that as we have determined our new meeting date?
Yeah, so for any motion, we do need a seconder, but I did see Michelle put her hand up second, so I recorded her as the seconder, or Laura as well, but Michelle, okay, perfect.
Okay.
That's all I needed.
Okay, I can second, and we can do all in favor and a carried moving forward, so.
And for anybody, if there's if we do encounter, like I know Michelle would be able to talk about this. Last year we encountered Christmas, so we moved our time leading into Christmas. I can't remember exactly why, but there are some instances where we can move something if absolutely necessary. But this sounds like it works for everyone, so hopefully we can go with it and it'll be all good.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everyone. Moving on to number F on our agenda, AODA forms. Jacob.
So I had AODA forms come in from both the Ag Advisory Board and TDAB. So this is more or less just a reminder that if you have not gotten me the AODA forms that were sent out, just please send them in. I believe most of this group has it, but obviously it's a bigger group of new individuals. So if you need your AODA forms or need to complete them, please send them over to myself.
Okay. We have Alexis with a question or a comment.
I was just wondering if it would be okay to send in a photograph of it because my printer scanner is not working.
Yeah, that's fine, just as long as we have it.
Yeah. And how long does that certification last for, Jacob?
I will double check. This is all new to me. I thought it was just for new members, but if it's not, I will be sure to circulate.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions on AODA forms? Okay, moving on to item number 7, other business, new branding strategy. Zvi, you're up.
Great. I promise this is the last ask of the evening for me.
We have no money. It's a pandemic, you know.
Okay, so again, for the benefit of the new members, we started a few months ago, actually late last year, a new tourism brand strategy that was actually funded. We were able to get a grant called RRF that allowed us to pay for things that will help the tourism industry recover from COVID. And one of the areas of focus coming out of that grant was a new tourism brand strategy. A lot of work has been put into that, and it's primarily a strategy, meaning a brand strategy. Who should we pursue? What are the target markets? What are the messages? What are the channels? Tone, asset mix. So it really is a strategy. But then there's a piece of it that also involved a creative, some concepts, logo concepts that were presented in January to members of TDAB from the previous group and some community stakeholders in the tourism industry. They looked at 3 separate concepts, and I think it's fair to say really preferred one over the other. And that is now going to council a staff report is going to council on March 8th with the brand strategy, as well as some of these, actually the one selected concept. What we think would be very helpful is to get support from TDAB. I've already spoken with Michelle on this as the former chair and got a quote from Michelle in support of the strategy and that one logo concept that was supported. I just wanted to put it out there and have a discussion maybe with this group, whether there was interest in further supporting it. Might be more relevant to the existing members since the newer members obviously haven't seen it yet. So it wouldn't be a fair ask, but anything that we can do to make sure that council is aware of the fact that we've engaged the representatives of our business and tourism community and have received positive feedback. So that's either more quotes or even attending the council meeting and saying, hey, we're here and we were consulted and we like what we saw. So I'll open it up to the group and have a discussion. I'm pretty flexible as to what you want to do, but I think it would be very helpful.
Okay, Helena.
I would love to be able to see this, considering it's kind of where I lived for such a long time, not literally, but just professionally. Although at the same time, I have a lot of opinions on everything, always. So you can always kind of factor that in as to whether or not you want me to show, you want me to look at anything so close before you have to present it to council. I can definitely try and make sure that I kind of factor that into any feedback I provide, knowing how little time there is before it has to be presented. But
it's even worse than that, Helen. It's so the report goes on March 8th, but the way the municipal approval structure works, the report was actually due on Tuesday, so I'm already late, which is pretty common. But anyway, it was due on Tuesday, and actually I'm hoping to submit it tomorrow. So either, some really quick quotes, or we can go through a process of reviewing, but there's not going to be much opportunity for change. We did go through a process of extensive engagement with stakeholders in tourism. We did a survey. We got 115 results, and then we brought a group together to view the reveal. Unfortunately, not everyone's going to see it, but I think this is, I'll say this, Helen, that it's important to remember that this is a strategy. I think the strategy is bang on. Like, who do we go after and how do we increase the type of tourism that we haven't traditionally had based on assets that haven't traditionally been considered? The part that is still very open to change is the logo and the logo concepts. All we're putting forward now is a concept for council to look at and say, yeah, this makes sense. It's flexible. It speaks to multiple different assets, but that's not the logo. We will still go through a process of finalizing, amending and finalizing, and then the rollout will be another whole project on its own. So there's lots of opportunity if the creative part is really what you're interested in, but if it's the strategy part, who we're going after, that's that's going to be finalized tomorrow pretty much.
As being a creative director, absolutely the creative part is, where my heart lives. But I 100% would be very, very interested in seeing that strategy behind it. I can promise I will zip my lips knowing that there is nowhere for that to go at this point. But just from the perspective of me understanding sort of what brief was provided for this strategy and then seeing the resulting strategy would be incredibly valuable in terms of me being able to understand both, what the county believes they need, what this whoever the supplier is has returned in terms of a strategy that solves on that brief, but also just to be able to compare those to what I have sort of gathered personally and what my opinions are in terms of what I feel the county needs and where it should go. I'd really like to be able to kind of take a look through that stuff.
Okay, so one option might be this. So when we did the kind of reveal, the one disclaimer that I kept on repeating is this: council has not seen this, and what we never ever want to do is go through a process where a product is seen by the public and council hasn't seen it yet. So we were very, very careful to say, look, we're doing a bit of a reveal here. Please don't, mention this. Please don't share this information, anything that you've seen. And that remains a true concern. So what might be, and if I go through it with you, the consultants won't be able to because they're writing the final report. If I go through it with you, I'm not necessarily going to provide the same level of, professionalism and expertise that the consultants will, and as to how they arrived where they arrived. So maybe if this works for you, when we get the strategy approved, really all we have so far is a high level, here's some things for you to consider, some target markets. There will be a whole, this is how you implement it. These are the actual messages. These are the actual channels. We could put together a group or a committee that will help drive the implementation, and you can be on that. If you really want to see this before it goes to council, I can give you a sneak peek, but it's going to suck because I'm not very good at, doing that. So, and that's just the truth. I'm not going to be able to explain how they arrived using some real deep analysis and Veronica's data, like some real deep stuff there. So
was it Environics that put it together?
No, it wasn't in Veronics. Okay. No. And Veronics just has really good data on market segmentation, right? But okay. No. The company's called Cinnamon Toast Media out of Hamilton.
Oh, okay. They're also doing the project for Port Dover.
Right, and I connected them through that. So yeah, okay. They're good. They're good. So okay. Yeah.
Michelle has a question or a comment.
Yeah, I was actually just looking to, so I've seen it and I can give feedback, but what are you looking for from people who haven't seen it? I don't really know what the group can provide without I'm not sure what the group can provide without having any information on what the project actually is, more than it's a rebrand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Wanda, have you seen it? Were you at the meeting?
Yes, I did participate in the process, so I would be happy to provide you with any kind of level of support that you would need, whether or not it's a quote or a letter.
And Chantel, were you there? I don't recall. You were there. Okay, yeah. Well, we've got 3, so I think I don't think I'm missing anybody. If I am, raise your hand. But yeah,
and we have Christine Carey, who is a stakeholder.
Right. Christine was there. So that is a good point. So either we get 4 quotes, and I think that will probably be amazing, or as I said, you're welcome and invited to participate. So Cinnamon Toast will be doing a presentation to council, and council may very well say, so members of TDAB, what do you think? And we could have you guys talk about it. But I think, to save you some time, I think quotes would probably go a long way as well.
Okay. And I know, for being a member of TDAB and now the current chair, I think it would be appropriate I can also include that behind my quote, because I did participate as a member of this committee. I think it's a little unfair for those who aren't able to see the full scope of what is being brought forward for them to comment, or as Helena had said, right, there's a lot of, she wasn't involved in the process, but she would be happy to provide an objective opinion. I don't know how others might feel about providing feedback.
Yeah, and I'm not asking for anyone who hasn't seen it. I'm not asking for anything. But it is unfortunate. The timing just happened to be. We were going to have our first TDAB meeting, I think, on the 17th of January. Yeah. And then it would have been this group that saw it, but we just missed that date. Things didn't work out. We pushed it forward, and so a different group saw it. So it's really unfortunate. I would have loved this whole group to see it. It's just a timing thing, and we're now already under a crunch to get it done.
So that would be helpful for you, Zvi, to have Chantel, Michelle, and myself from this committee who did participate in the strategy review?
Correct. And Michelle, if you're okay with it, I'll send everybody your quote so that they can see the kind of thing that is included in there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can add it into the chat if everyone just wants to see it now. I just didn't know if you wanted everyone's like individual quotes or you wanted them to see mine first. So I'll just add it in. Oops.
Yeah, add it in, and maybe that can be used as a basis for also Christine. So Christine, Chantel, and Wanda as well.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay. Any other comments on the new branding strategy, which we cannot share with all of you today, but it something very, very unique project is moving forward, and I think that all the equity we're trying to capture here with the press release and building visibility for each individual on this committee will help us to start that new conversation with the new brand. So, Helene, you still have your hand up? Did you? No, you're good. Okay.
No,
You know what
sorry.
I'm gonna. You know what? Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do. So the staff report has to be in, but what I might be able to do, because the staff report is, let's say, due, as I said, it was due on Tuesday, because it's due right away, nothing can really change. However, from the time the staff report is in on, let's say, the 25th of February until we go to council on the 8th, there's some time, and I might be able to convince Cinnamon Toast to just come in and do another presentation for those that haven't seen it, and it's outside of the scope of what we originally asked them to do, but maybe they'll agree, and that's not necessarily an opportunity for change, but it is an opportunity to see it and see what's included. And then if there is support, and if you do like it, for example, Helene, then maybe you would agree to be part of the meeting. It'll be too late to provide a quote by that point, but so let me see if I can make that happen.
And if it's okay, I know we also have Antoinette, who has a great deal of expertise and skill and experience that she's brought in. Antoinette, would you like to weigh in on the conversation at all?
Thank you. Actually, what I was considering, I thought for the first meeting I wouldn't say anything. I would just listen, because it's been like it's been like trying to catch I'm trying to catch a moving train at this point. So, and I'm new to the community. But one comment that was made that did intrigue me was the issue of establishing an arts and culture committee. I'd be really interested in that when that occurs, whenever that is. Simply because I was formerly the director of arts and culture for the province. So so this is an area where I've maintained an interest in other boards and in my community, as well as having some institutional background. And that's something I think where I feel I could contribute.
Thank you. Great.
Just when I think it can't get any better after meeting everyone tonight. Thank you. Yeah, you're all exceptional. You really are. And is there anything else to add on this this last item on our agenda? Zvi, anyone at the on the committee? No.
Thank you.
Well, we are on our last item, which is adjournment. I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And can we have a motion to adjourn followed by a seconder? Chantal? Michael seconded. All in favor? Thank you for your time. And in the future, when things open up, can we possibly consider maybe even options? There could be an outdoor meeting, right? Warm summer day. Yeah, physical distancing.
I think it'd be great to even get to know some people, on a different ideas, that kind of thing. It's hard to do sometimes over video chat with everyone here, so that'd be great.
We just got an offer from Cranberry Creek, and I will make an offer from Whistling Gardens that two very safe COVID outdoor hotspots, right, in Norfolk. So let's put that. And we will be needing some brewing or some wine. So I think we might have some connections here. We'll have to work on that, right? We'll need some hospitality. So thank you everyone for your time, and great to meet you all, and watch your email. Okay.
Super excited about all of the new faces on the board. This is great. I'm like, it's a really great, diverse team of people. It's awesome.
You're all amazing. It's just a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for your time tonight. And welcome to Norfolk County, huh? Yeah. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.